Welcome to So That Reminds Me, Reminder Publishing's bi-weekly podcast discussing Western Mass news. My name is Tyler Garnett.
I'm Dennis Hackett.
And I'm Ryan Fair.
And we'll be your hosts for today's episode. On this week's episode, Dennis and I are sitting down with Worcester's Red Sox Marketing Vice President Steve Oliveira, while Ryan and Chris did a remote interview with Hartford Yard Goats General Manager Mike Abramson about their respective upcoming seasons and things to look forward to at their ballparks. But before we get into the interview, guys, we've made it. Baseball season is here.
I know.
Oh.
You guys have no idea.
It feels like it's been gone forever. I'm very excited for it to be back.
Yeah. It feels like it's been gone forever, but it's also like the shortest off season, I think, out of all the major sports.
Yeah, it's like 2 months, I feel like.
Yeah, it's like you know, Game 7 was, I think, November 1st, the Blue Jays Dodgers, and you know, so it's already back in end of March. But because this winter's been so terrible, I think it feels long. It feels longer.
Yeah, true. Yeah. You know, I know spring training starts in February for most teams, and you know, the World Baseball Classic. So we've had already exciting baseball, and you know, we got some other, besides Major League, we got some fun minor league teams to talk about too.
Yeah, and 2 minor league teams with great stadiums. We've both we've all been attendees at these games before, and they're just great places to go spend a afternoon or an evening in the summertime.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I know we always go to these respective fields, but also we have the company outings where we get to go also, which is so fun. So these are definitely 2 teams that I know we both look forward to talking about.
Yeah, I'll never forget the photo we took with the Yard Goats.
I still have that.
I do too. Yeah.
Tyler with the back or the sideways hat.
Yeah. What was his name? The mascot. I think Chompers is. I think his name.
I think. Yeah.
Chompers.
They have 2 though.
Yes, they have 2. But Chompers himself took my Mets hat, turned it sideways for the photo with him. So that's definitely a nice memory. That was a beautiful night. So hopefully this means warmer weather is coming too. With baseball coming.
Yeah,
it's teasing us. We're almost there.
Mm-hmm.
It really is, and I'm off next week, and unfortunately, it doesn't look like it's gonna be that warm.
No,
which sucks, but
yeah,
almost there.
Yeah,
a few more. Hopefully, like a month from now, we'll be.
I think March is by far the most like mercurial month of the year because it's like it's 70 one day and then it's like 30 the next and it's 70 again and then it's 30 and snowing again.
Yeah, or it's just raining for a week.
Yeah, it's literally it just changes moods every week.
I always go back to that episode of The Office, the dinner party, where we go snip, snap, snip, snap, snip, snap. It's like the best way to describe.
That's a perfect representation of March for sure.
Yeah.
No, 100%.
Yeah, but also before we get into our interview, I know one of the things we've been doing on this podcast is talking about the top stories in Western Massachusetts. So
there's a lot.
There's a lot. So you guys want to kick us off with some things that kind of caught your eye, or our listeners can look for?
Yeah. So one thing I definitely wanted to touch on first is there's a Springfield resident named Hassan Murad. He is currently in Lebanon, helping people with humanitarian aid. He had initially gone over there to help his uncle set up a business, and then I believe 2 days later, the U.S. strikes on Iran happened. Oh, wow. Mm-hmm. So immediately it was like he was kind of just thrust into this, where he tried to get out, but his flight was canceled, and then being stuck there, and then he's just been doing humanitarian aid, trying to raise money, help people. If you go on our website, we have videos that he's posted, like if you go to the article for it, to kind of get an idea of what's happening in Lebanon, which is kind of caught in the crossfire between like much of the Middle East is with this conflict in Iran.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, I read the story yesterday. Excellent job by Sarah, kind of hitting on all those things where it's like it's one of those stories where it's like it's the local intersecting with international, and it doesn't happen often, but when it does, it's it's significant. You could tell like how significant this is. I mean, like, it's tragic, but it's really I would say heartwarming to see someone local like helping out in such a difficult time. So it's definitely one of those stories that hits a lot of emotions, and I got a little emotional reading it, to be honest. So definitely. Definitely a worthwhile story.
Absolutely.
For sure.
Yeah, and I always think about it too, because my best friend growing up, he's from Lebanon, or he wasn't born there, his parents were. So it's just interesting, kind of thinking about that in that context. And
much different perspective.
Yeah.
Yeah, 100%. I know. I feel like, a lot of times I'm sure people, when they read, international news or, national news, you think, oh, that doesn't affect me. I don't live there and live this.
Yeah.
But this is like a perfect example of like, well, no, like someone who lives in Springfield, like directly affected by this. I think it puts a lot of perspective, puts things in perspective for some people. Because I've known people like that, like, oh, this doesn't affect me.
Yeah.
Like, why should I care what's going on in Iran or whatever?
No, absolutely.
But then it's like you see something like this, it's like,
yeah.
So it hits harder, I think, for sure. But so that was a great story.
Yeah. And then I also want to shout it out. If you look on the website as well, there is a link there for a crowdfunding campaign that he's doing to raise money for folks over in Lebanon. And you can also follow him at Hassan.Murad on Instagram as well for further updates on his situation.
Awesome.
Yeah, that's great. Well, on my end, there's been a lot happening as well. So we'll move to East Hampton. We haven't talked a lot about East Hampton on this podcast a lot, but so recently Trent Lavakis, our colleague, reported on an investigation that was done by the Department of Elementary and Secondary Education that found that East Hampton Public Schools took appropriate and prompt actions to address various anti-Semitic incidents that occurred during the 2024-25 school year. So this complaint, basically a former city councilor, Owen Zarrett, basically submitted a complaint to DESE saying, all these anti-Semitic incidents happened in East Hampton Public Schools. Someone wrote a swastika on a desk. There was various other incidents that occurred that are laid out in the report. And basically his argument was the city failed to take appropriate action to address the situation, to have short-term and long-term solutions, basically. And DESE's report basically refutes that and says, no, they did. East Hampton did. The quote said they notified law enforcement when conduct occurred. They developed anti-bias curriculum. They received input from staff and students and parents and caregivers, and they applied for grants, for education to be used in the development of curriculum to address genocide and all that. So DESE's report basically refuted that, but it was a big story because Zarrett's been very vocal in East Hampton for many years, especially when he was a counselor on the city council, on East Hampton City Council. He's never thought that the administration has done enough to address this situation. Yeah. So that's why this was kind of an interesting story. But clearly, East Hampton seems to be doing what they can to address some of these issues. And it also should be worth noted that when this the focus of this report, 2024-2025, the current mayor, Salem Derby, wasn't the mayor at the time, and the current superintendent, Michelle Balch, was not the superintendent at the time. She was in Springfield, so something to note there. But it's an interesting story. Both Derby and Zarrett commented post-report. Derby said that the city's doing certain things like initiating conversations with the Jewish Federation in Western Massachusetts to see what the city can do to better acknowledge the fact that anti-Semitism is on the rise. Derby's also a Jewish person himself. Zarrett thinks that there should have been more done with the report. So there's a lot of back and forth there, but basically the crux of this story is, East Hampton's done what it can to address these anti-Semitic incidents at this current time.
Yeah, it's always, a tough story to hear about, when anti-Semitic, reports come out in any town. It's unfortunate that it seems to be happening more and more, at least being reported on more and more. It's nice to hear that East Hampton has done all it could, or at least, they say. But, that can only do so much because it still has affected so many people. So it seems like, a very dicey thing to try and deal with. But, it's sad to hear.
Yeah, it really is. I don't really have much to add.
It's one of those it's one of those unfortunate stories where it's like, well, it sucks that these incidents are happening in schools. It's good that it seems like a city is addressing it, but it's like, I don't know if it's going to solve the issue or not. It's
exactly.
It's one of those convoluted things. It's just,
Yeah.
it is what it is.
Sometimes I feel like kids too don't even know the.
Oh no!
Exactly.
Yeah, they have no idea.
Yeah, I'm not trying to make excuses.
And that's
by any
yeah.
means,
No, but
and it's a thing to say like somebody does something without knowing it, and somebody does something purposely. But like, I don't know.
Yeah. So a lot going on there, but
there's a lot of times where kids don't really have the kind of really cultural understanding of the gravity of certain things like that.
Mm-hmm.
No,
100%.
Exactly. They just think it's something funny for their friends. But.
And that means, it always comes back to the parents, like, hey, like,
where did you hear this?
Where did this come from? Like,
kids,
how is your kid kind of picking up on this?
Yeah.
But
100%.
Yeah.
It's all like being a part of the social media age too. You know what I mean? Like, they just find something and it's like,
Yeah.
But anyway, I mean, here's the other, I guess, big story in in our communities, Tyler, was the Holyoke City Council restoring the World War II siren tradition.
Yeah.
After much discussion, which I've only been managing editor in the Holyoke area for a few months now, so I can't speak to the nostalgia factor and what this has meant, what this has meant to people over the years. But I feel like a lot of city councilors captured that during the meeting last week. So basically, I don't know, Tyler, if you want to, I know you reported on this first. If you want to talk about what initially happened, it seemed like they had a noise complaint with what happened.
So this was a tradition. I mean, I also am kind of new to covering Holyoke, I would say, but this is a tradition that has gone back to the 1980s, I believe. Every Friday at noon, for a couple minutes, they would blast this air siren, a little World War II air siren. And
at the warehouse.
Yep, exactly. And it was kind of a tradition, but eventually a noise complaint came in, and based on the city's charter and ordinances, that wasn't allowed.
Mm-hmm.
So they had to shut it down. A lot of residents didn't take too kindly to that, and they decided to meet up at the warehouse anyway on Fridays, and instead of the air siren going off, they would all honk their horns in unison, and more and more people started to show up, and there started to be more of an outcry for that siren to come back. So, two city councilors decided to put in an order to say, hey, we want that air siren to come back. Here's a new ordinance that would allow that. The process went pretty quickly. I know the mayor took to social media to kind of say, we have these, this charter in place to kind of make sure the residents are safe. So he kind of told the city council, like, if you could take this up on the quicker side, that would definitely be a huge help, especially with how many residents were upset. And, it's nice to see that after you covered the city council meeting, that they were able to find a solution to get that ringing again. Yeah,
and it seemed like it was a really simple solution. It was just like, let's make separate language that allows this to happen.
Yes.
That's what the language was that I read. It was like, the air raid siren can sound for every Friday at noon for up to 2 minutes.
Yep.
And it seemed like that was it.
Yeah.
And it seemed very simple, so it seemed like they got it done pretty quickly after the noise complaint, which is good. And actually, one of the counselors said, I just reading the story I did, the tradition has been going on for 75 years, which is wild. I didn't know it'd been
even
going
longer
on.
than I was thinking.
So there was the discussion was interesting, and I saw everyone's perspective. Like, some counselors thought there's no reason to wait on this.
Yeah,
we should vote on this now. Other counselors felt this warrants another discussion in committee because we should hear what veterans have to say about it.
Sure.
I think one counselor, I forgot who it was. I'd have to go back through the story, but one of the counselors suggested they do a survey to see, does this bother veterans? Because there was an argument, I thought it was a worthy one, where there was one or two veterans that said they had PTSD when they heard the siren, and it did kind of bother them a little bit. Other veterans said, not really, but some did. So I thought it was a worthy discussion.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, it seemed like nostalgia won out, and the council voted it 2 readings, then didn't go to committee, and
it's back, I believe.
It was 11-1 vote. So
I believe I saw a video last week of everyone gathering to hear it at 12 o'clock. Now that it was back online. So
it's a big deal. I mean, it was a point of discussion, Dennis, when we were at the breakfast last week.
Yeah,
that was brought up multiple times. So
I've seen Garcia talk about it on social media a couple times. So he definitely was big on it. And I guess the only thing I also wanted to just make quick mention of, I'm sure you've heard me say on here many times, is the South Hadley budget kind of saga. They have their town election coming up Tuesday, April 14th, where they're going to talk, or residents will have the chance to vote on a couple budget questions, whether they want a $9 million or $11 million tax override. Both of those will be over the duration of a few years. I believe the $11 million is 5 years. If that was approved, residents can vote for both options. Whichever one gets the most votes, that one will prevail. Obviously, you also don't have to vote for the tax override. It's just a weird situation right now, too, because like many communities, they're going through their budget processes. So the select board just approved the budget to send to Appropriations Committee, but this has no tax override in it yet. So this budget includes all the votes. So that has caused a lot of hesitation to, well, if we approve this budget and then town meeting approves this budget, the cuts go through. So it's been a dicey situation there. There's been plenty of meetings on social media and South Hadley TV that are recorded. I've definitely been covering it for weeks. So if anyone wants to learn more about it, definitely check those two places out.
One thing I also wanted to add, you included this in the most recent story, Tyler, but they're also holding office hours in South Hadley with the town manager and assistant town manager. Those are posted on the article Tyler did most recently at thereminder.com. So if you're a South Hadley resident and you're looking to get more information, ask some questions, definitely take advantage of those office hours as well.
Yes, and on top of that, too, there is a community meeting on March 28th because, at all these select board meetings, there has been a lot of public comment, rightfully so, because the public's confused. Even when they ask questions, select board members, it takes them a second to get to the right answer. So it's a confusing time. I'm not blaming anyone. So definitely check out those meetings if you want to learn more.
Plus, like the Proposition 2.5 stuff, it can be just confusing in general.
Yes.
Like I know, like we kind of know it because we cover it all the time, but a lot of residents don't. It's hard to explain.
It's scary to hear about too. So you want to make sure you have all the information before you vote on it.
Exactly. Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah, and I mean that's like kind of a statewide issue right now where it seems like school. I don't know if there's a school district in our coverage area that isn't hitting this fiscal cliff this year. So
a lot of them. I mean, we cover a lot of communities, between the three of us and everyone else on the team, and every article we read, there's, like you said, that fiscal cliff. Is definitely very prominent.
I think Springfield and Hampden-Wilbraham are both looking at $2.5 million. Other places, I think Chicopee was also looking at 2.5.
Yeah, Chicopee was like 2.5. Holyoke might have been 3 or somewhere around there, 2 to 3. So they're definitely going through their preliminary numbers right now. And when it really gets down to crunch time, I'm sure there'll be some unfortunate conversations. Hopefully not, but everyone's kind of been alluding to that. So budget season.
Well, brutal. Probably the worst one since any of us have been here.
Yeah, I would say so, with all the COVID money and other grant money off the books.
That's the huge
state
thing.
aid taking a giant nosedive with them looking at the lower amount for per pupil aid for states for schools. So.
Yeah, federal funding not being what it is too, being so up in the air.
Yeah,
so.
And then Chicopee obviously being the unfortunate where they went under the Student Opportunity Act funding kind of threshold there.
Yeah, so they're losing a few $1 million that they expected. So, I give those guys and girls a lot of credit who are in charge of the financials because it couldn't be me. Could not be me. I don't understand it as well as they do. So
I'd have gray hair.
Yeah. I think I already do, but
possibly more.
Yeah, but definitely, like, for folks listening, keep it tuned to thereminder.com. We'll have coverage for your town, how they're addressing their fiscal issues and getting into budget season, but it's already upon us. So
100%.
But I think we've talked about those stories quick enough.
I did want to mention the St. Patrick's Parade. I feel like we'd be remiss if we didn't, just because
forgot.
We did a podcast episode on it with the president and the Colleen. Like Ryan mentioned earlier, we were at the St. Patrick's breakfast on, was that last Wednesday, I believe? So we were kind of full involved in green season, and you'll be able to see the most recent Herald has photos from the parade, but also our other editions will have photos for the April 2nd edition, so keep an eye out for those. And then obviously I think all the photos are already up on thereminder.com. So if you want to take a look at, see the parade and everybody in action and the weather.
Yeah. Did either of you guys get the chance to check out either the road race or the parade?
No.
I went to the road race because my brother ran in it.
Oh, nice.
I have always, liked the road race day. That's always been my favorite of the two.
Wow.
Because it's always fun. It's like you got people like dressing up as Spider-Man and Superman and stuff.
Yeah.
And you got the people that take it deathly serious and the people that are drinking beer while they're running. So it's like, it's just a fun like collision of different personalities that are running the race. And it's always a very like celebratory thing. And for whatever reason, the weather's always nicer on road race day. Yeah. So every year, it's
Saturday
the same
was
thing.
beautiful.
It's the same thing
beautiful.
every year. It's like 55 sunny every year, and then the road race, or then the parade's like 40 and rain.
Interesting.
So it's I've always liked the road race, but yeah, it was a fun weekend.
Did Matt end up running?
No.
I thought he said he was going to.
No, I don't think so. No. I did back in the day, but I'm past my prime.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm out of shape now.
I do not like running.
I ran on the treadmill a couple weeks ago for 5 minutes and I was done. I was like, all right, I don't know what happened, but
that's all you need for the year.
I don't have it anymore.
No.
But
all right, well, I guess with that, we're going to hop into our interviews.
Want to win a chance for some free baseball tickets? Listen to this episode, then head over to thereminder.com and correctly answer a question about something you heard in this episode, and you'll be entered to win your choice of a 4-pack of tickets to the Worcester Red Sox or a 4-pack of tickets to the Hartford Yard Goats. It's Reminder Publishing's way of thanking you for listening and helping you get in the swing of baseball season. Get into the game at thereminder.com.
All right. We are here with Steve Oliveira. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thanks for having me. Appreciate it.
Of course. So first, we wanted to just give you an opportunity to let the listeners know a little bit about yourself.
Cool. Yeah, so I'm Steve Oliveira, Vice President of Marketing for the Worcester Red Sox, or the Woo Sox. Been with the team since we made the transition from Pawtucket to Worcester back in 2021. That's when we opened up Puller Park. And before that, actually, was with the Boston Red Sox for about 9 years, from 2010 to the end of 2018. And I'm a Western Mass native, actually, so really excited to come back and be in the area and join you guys today.
Awesome. Yeah, so I guess kind of one of the first kind of big questions is what's new at the ballpark this year?
Yeah, it's great. Every year we make it a priority to make sure we have some new exciting things for fans to look forward to. This year in particular, there's some construction projects that we just wrapped up and are ready to go for opening day that are really exciting. So the first one, for those who are familiar with our triple-decker garden in right field, we've created a beautiful patio area now and added pavers to the entire corner. And for those who used to walk around in sort of the mushy granite up there, or gravel, I should say, that's a huge improvement, great group space. But really the biggest thing is the Hanover deck out in left field. So for those who have been to Puller Park, above left field, we have this great Hanover deck area right next to the train tracks, great place to catch a foul ball, great vantage point. But, sometimes New England weather isn't the greatest. Sure. If it rains, if it's a hot, sunny day, it was uncovered, kind of led to some complications. And, anytime, Mother Nature didn't quite cooperate. So this year we added a cover to that area, a roof over the Hanover deck, which is like an awesome group space now. You can easily fit 300 people in there for larger groups, or we break it into smaller groups. But it's got covering for shade during the summer, for rain on those, iffy weather days, and also heaters, because we know here in April and May, sometimes it could be 80 degrees, it could be 35 degrees. So we have heaters there as well to make it just like a nice refuge for people who are just looking to kind of get out of the elements for a little bit. So those are kind of the biggest things from sort of a ballpark standpoint. We also have some great new offerings coming up. We have a Smiley meal, which is basically our version of a Happy Meal for kids. Really fun box artwork and special kids meal that we'll have throughout the ballpark. We have a special $5 beer offering this year, which for 16-ounce beers.
That's pretty good.
Which is a
That's
really
pretty
good deal.
good.
I know, right?
Solid deal.
For those who are of age, and can enjoy yourselves responsibly, we do have that great deal. It was one of those things fans talked to us about, like, hey, you should have more sort of affordable beverage options. And we said, great idea. Let's make it happen. And we did so. So that's just a really quick little hint of some of the stuff that I'm most looking forward to, I guess.
Gotcha, yeah. And, kind of as Major League Baseball season, minor league baseball season's kicking off, I mean, so many teams have been unveiling some pretty wild food concoctions. Is there anything unique or any food items besides kind of the deals you just mentioned coming this year to Polar Park?
Yeah, there's always we love doing this thing called a battle burger, and we have some new ones coming up this year. So basically, we'll try to have a specialty burger that's tied to the team that's visiting Polar Park that week. So if they're from Syracuse and there's some odd specialty food from Syracuse, I guess Buffalo's even better example. Buffalo Bison's, right? And Buffalo wings. We do this weird buffalo burger kind of thing. That type of thing. So we have a few of those coming up. What you made me actually think of that I'm really excited about is our alternate identity. So one of the things you also see in minor league baseball is teams sort of transforming for a day or two into a different identity, different uniforms around different themes. So we're really leaning into that. And this year, one of them is we're bringing back the hot wieners from our days in Pawtucket. So for those who are familiar with Rhode Island and their hot wieners, it's like sort of their version of like the Coney Island hot dog or whatever, right? Sort of a chili dog, but the hot wieners, really popular in Rhode Island. We're throwing back to that. We have a great emblem logo with a wiener dog, like looking like a hot dog, and it's like one of the most popular things we've ever had. So looking forward to that. For those who have driven in Worcester before, maybe familiar with Kelly Square. It was one of the most dangerous intersections in New England for a long time. Recently been redeveloped, but we're doing sort of a homage to Kelly Square. We're going to turn to the Kelly Squares for a game this year and have some fun around that. Awesome. We created this great little mascot logo with this like angry road driving, and we call him Skid Mac. Nice. So that's a really fun one, turning into the Kelly Squares. And then our last one, we're doing something, we're calling it the Art of the Woo, but Worcester's really known for its street art and the murals that you'll see around the city. So we have some jerseys that really tie into that and have that street graphic art, sort of graffiti style artwork that the players will be wearing that we're really excited about. So so again, just like some good old minor league fun, the type of things that you don't necessarily see at the major league level, we can kind of get away with. So we'll have a little extra fun on our side.
Nice. And then kind of going off of that, you mentioned kind of the different uniform days, but I know one of the big things in baseball is doing big promotional nights. Are there any other kind of big promotional nights on the calendar?
Yeah, absolutely. And first it's worth mentioning some of the staples that our fans by now are used to, but I want to mention, of course, are coming back. Every Friday night post-game, we do our fireworks show. It is awesome, tremendous fireworks like you would see on the 4th of July or anywhere else, and we do it every Friday post-game. We're continuing that. Most popular days by far. So, of course, doing that once again. Every Saturday, we do a sunset catch on the field post-game, so fans can go on the outfield grass at the conclusion of the game, play catch out there, and just create some memories, take some great photos on the field. And then every Sunday, kids run the bases post-game. And we say kids, but really we mean kids of all ages, grown-ups, into their 80s and 90s coming down, running. Everyone is welcome to run the bases. So we have that. Of course, it's not baseball without bobbleheads, so we're going to have bobblehead days. We have our fourth mascot, Clara, the Heart of the Commonwealth, who's a great heart-shaped mascot, tribute to Worcester being known as the Heart of the Commonwealth, and Clara Barton, who created the American Red Cross from Oxford, Massachusetts. So we have a Clara, the Heart of the Commonwealth bobblehead on Sunday, June 7th. And then we're honoring a couple of former Woo Sox players who've done awesome at the major league level. So Wilyer Abreu, who you may have seen at the WBC, hitting some huge home runs for the champion Venezuela team. But Wilyer Abreu, who won a Gold Glove last year with the Red Sox and was with us for a couple of seasons, we're going to do a special Gold Glove bobblehead for him. Nice. And then his fellow outfield mate, Cedon Rafaela, who also won a Gold Glove last year and was a tremendous Woo Sox player for the time he was with us. We're also going to do a Gold Glove bobblehead for him this year as well. So super excited about that. And then the last one I want to mention that I am selfishly really excited about. It's something I've wanted to do for a long time. Didn't really have a good excuse to do it, but I think now with this year, 2026, being the 250th anniversary of America, right? This summer on Friday, June 26th, we're going to be giving away tri-corner hats. So, we're throwing it back, going colonial here with it. But we're going to have these great, tri-corner hats with Woo Sox logo on them. Nice. Really fun. We did a similar sort of thing last year with a cowboy hat giveaway on our country western night. So this year, just before the 4th of July, celebrating America and New England's rich history around the Revolutionary War. Yeah. So everyone will feel like Paul Revere that night with their tri-corner hat on.
That's going to be great. I think what's best about these promotional nights mostly is seeing everyone wear it in the stands too. So hopefully you get a crowd full of people wearing them. So that would be awesome.
Absolutely.
Gotcha. And you kind of touched a little bit on some previous players who played with the Woo Sox, but what we wanted to touch on too is kind of what is the outlook on the team itself this year? Are there any key players to kind of look out for?
Absolutely, yeah. That's one of the best parts of minor league baseball is you get to see these guys up and coming before they really turn into some of them into real stars. Last year, Roman Anthony and Marcelo Meyer, we've seen what Roman Anthony's been doing for Team USA and the Red Sox last year. Meyer looks like he's healthy going into this year and he's going to start with the big club as well. But that was awesome to see that. This year, super excited. Our manager, Chad Tracy, was just recently talking in spring training saying like he thinks this has the chance of being the best Woo Sox team that he's been a part of the last 5 years, which is awesome to hear. Peyton Tolley is a name that if you're not familiar with yet, you should be. He is, number one, he's an awesome character, like super funny, big, tall pitcher, got a great mustache, fun personality. But he was with us towards the end of last season after coming up from Portland and then went up to the Red Sox for their stretch run at the end of the year. But he's got a lot of potential. He's the number one prospect in the Red Sox system. He's starting the season with us. Connolly Early, actually, right at the moment, it looks like he's going to be with the big club to start the season, but and hopefully he does the best that he can, and we don't see him again. But there's the chance he comes back. He was with us late last year, another awesome pitcher, and Jake Bennett been pitching this year is really the theme, I guess. But Jake Bennett, huge lefty. Was in Portland for a bit, was part of a trade that brought him here recently too, but he has a ton of potential, a top 10 prospect in our system that we're excited to see. And then from a hitting standpoint, Mikey Romero is an infielder who joined us again last year from Portland a little bit later in the year, but it's a great infielder, has a ton of potential as well, so really looking forward to seeing him. And then beyond that, things always happen from a rehab standpoint. So you never know who can come back. Some of the biggest days we've had at the ballpark were when Chris Sale was with the team and went down for his rehab starts. So, you never wish for injuries, but they happen, and guys will have their time there in Worcester. But one guy we are almost certain to see here in the probably next month or two is Tristan Casas. He had a really bad knee injury with the Red Sox last year, but huge left-handed first baseman, awesome power. He hit some of the furthest balls I've ever seen in my life here at Puller Park. But he's expected to rehab with us early in the year, so that's going to be a good opportunity for fans to see him before he goes back up to the big club. So yeah, like I said, really excited. A lot of good pitching prospects, especially this year. So really has a chance to be an awesome year on the baseball side of things.
Yeah,
awesome. And then I guess kind of going off of that, like obviously you mentioned kind of players coming back for assignment and rehabbing and stuff. Like, how difficult is it, like, to kind of see like this is kind of two-parted, but like to see like a level of kind of camaraderie on the team, but then also how difficult is it to kind of market the team when players are constantly going up and down?
Yeah, it's a great question, and the thing with us at the minor league level is so much of sort of what we're selling is the experience, the overall experience. And so there's this sort of like mix of fans where it's like you have the hardcore baseball people that are there to see the players, see the prospects, see who's coming. And then you have the people who are just interested in like, hey, I'm looking to have a great time, see some fireworks, get some food and drink, that type of thing. And it's a great mixture of the two. So, we sort of try to target our marketing best we can to try to find those people who are looking for more of the social aspect, maybe, those with young families, that type of thing, sort of deliver the messaging that they're looking for like, hey, here's the promotions, here are the special experiences we're offering almost every day at the ballpark. And then, your hardcore baseball people, we certainly try our best to kind of keep them updated with, weekly newsletters and articles on our website to say like, hey, here's who to look out for. Here's who's coming. Here's who's going up and down. But it is a challenge. It's definitely tough because I forget what the number of moves was this last year. It's close to like 100, transitions of players going up and down at all levels. So it can be hard to keep up with that. But, the diehards know who's coming when, and sometimes they'll even tell me before I know, like, hey, so-and-so's coming. Oh, good, cool, great.
Yeah.
So it's awesome. That's the thing with having such like a passionate sports fan base up here in New England. Your fans are kind of following along just as closely as you are. So that's great to see. We try our best to keep them updated, but they do a good job themselves. And then what's cool too is like we get to also see the top players and prospects from other teams.
Yeah.
So like last year, for instance, we had a rehab start for Tanner Houck in Worcester, and it just so happened that same day Max Scherzer, who's one of the all-time great pitchers at this point in Major League Baseball history, but he was with Toronto's system and did a rehab start at Polar Park also. So we got to see Tanner Houck against Max Scherzer for a few innings, which is like unbelievable. Prospects like Jackson Holliday and have come through from other teams. So that's part of it too. Like you don't just get to see the up and coming Red Sox players. Like you also get to see the future Yankees, the future Orioles, future Blue Jays. Yeah. So those who like really are in the know, like it's such a great opportunity to see them up close before everyone else does.
Absolutely. And I guess kind of going off of that, one report we saw was that the Woo Sox are like the only minor league team over the last 4 years to sell 500,000 tickets. Like, what do you attribute that to? Like, and kind of also like what draws people in?
Totally. No, it's I think number one, I think we're very lucky that we are in such like a great sports region, that we have passionate fans who love their professional sports teams. We definitely put a lot of hard work into it. I think the biggest thing is from, I shouldn't even say day one, from day zero, before we even moved to Worcester, we came in having this intention of being a regional team. Worcester's a great city, second largest city in New England, right? But it's got a population of 200,000 people. And like you mentioned, like we're selling 500,000 plus tickets a year. If you're dependent just on the city of Worcester, then you're not going to be able to meet those goals, right? And we're competing against other AAA teams from cities like Las Vegas, Charlotte, Indianapolis, like major metropolitan areas. So from day one, it was like we need to be a regional team. We need to be central Massachusetts, New England, like we have to be a sort of a central hub for all of New England. And so that's why Western Mass, for instance, has always been important to us, and making sure that we're doing stuff out here, making visits out to this region, going out to Metro West, out east, going to Connecticut and Rhode Island. Rhode Island's a little bit sensitive because the Paw Sox left there. Yeah. But the point is like just not just being dependent on Worcester and being Worcester centric, like making sure that we are truly marketing to outside of Worcester, because the great thing about Worcester is that it is centrally located. Like basically you go an hour any direction, and like you could be in Vermont, you could be in Connecticut, in Western Mass. So it's so important that we draw fans from everywhere, and that in order to do that, we have to really get out to those communities, make ourselves known. So I think that's kind of the biggest thing. And then, just sort of trying to be innovative, stay ahead of things. We have a beautiful ballpark that truly is like a jewel of a ballpark. We're lucky. It was designed by, former Red Sox CEO and president, Larry Lucchino, and Janet Marie Smith, who, if you don't know, she is just the preeminent baseball architect, of all time. Honestly, she, with Larry, built Camden Yards in Baltimore.
Oh, wow.
They handled the renovations of Fenway Park back in 2002, when this ownership group took over that ballpark. So to have like major league level leadership like that, it just brings so much to the entire organization. So again, since day one, it's like we've sort of seen ourselves as like a major league level organization at the AAA level. So I think that's just gone a long way.
And I can definitely see that, because like the first time I walked into the stadium, I was like, oh, this feels like a kind of a step up from other minor league ballparks I've been to. So
yeah, absolutely. Like I said, we're so proud of it. It is beautiful. It's located right downtown in Worcester as well. So it just, we just can't say enough good things about it. And more than anything, we appreciate that our fans keep saying good things about it. We really take such pride in it.
Awesome. Yeah. And just the last question I had, if for any of the fans / listeners listening, if they wanted to check out the schedule or see some tickets, where's the best place to find that information?
Totally. Anytime, of course, go to woosox.com. We've got all the latest information, updates on things, our full schedule for the year, our list of promotions for this season. Follow us on social media, on Instagram, on X, TikTok, either Woo Sox or Go Woo Sox, depending on the platform. But we try to keep engaged with our fans. We share a lot of great baseball content, as well as the promotions and whatnot. So just follow us all year on our social media sites, and of course woosox.com.
Awesome. Well, thank you.
Great. Thanks, Steve. I think that's all we need.
Awesome. Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
Thanks again for joining.
Thanks for coming.
This spring, Prime is packed with fresh ideas for living well. From simplifying your space to navigating health decisions, building meaningful connections, and embracing life's transitions, Prime brings you the stories and guidance to inspire your next chapter. You'll also find practical life tips, travel inspiration, local events, and our must-know highlights for the season. It's all in the spring issue of Prime, which hits stands in April. And if you're an advertiser looking to reach the over 45 market, call sales manager Scott Green at 413-525-6695. Prime, your best life, now. All right, Chris Mazza and Ryan Fair are here with Mike Abramson, who's the general manager of the Hartford Yard Goats. And Mike, thanks very much for joining us. We're really excited to get baseball season started. You are talking with a couple of big baseball fans here, so thanks for taking the time.
Yeah, thanks for having me. And you are talking to a big fan of not winter, so that's what I'm looking forward to, as much as actual baseball.
Well, this year we've got a lot to look forward to in Hartford. It's the 10th anniversary at Duncan Park, which, by the way, was named the best AA ballpark in 2025, if I'm not mistaken. So just do you mind reflecting a little bit on what it means being at Duncan Park and being in Hartford, both for the organization and for Hartford and the community?
Yeah, I mean, it's really crazy. I moved to Connecticut at the end of 2012 to be a part of all of this, and it was really just sort of a dream at that point, and then it became a sketch on a napkin, and then a lease and the building of the ballpark, and For anybody who's local or localish, it was not an easy ride getting here. I mean, there were probably 3 horrendous years of negativity and, ballpark delays and, some misinformation about the move and all of that stuff. So it was not pretty, but we were always supremely confident that once the ballpark was built and once we got going, everybody would see the benefit of it. And of course, now, 10 years down the road, they certainly have. We've welcomed over 3 million fans to the ballpark, sort of continuously shattering every record for the most number of fans in the shortest period of time. Been named Best Ballpark 5 times. We've won every major award that Major League Baseball gives to a minor league baseball team. So it has been satisfying to say the least. It has been an absolute crazy ride with COVID right in the middle of all of it and missing one entire season. So, it's been something. And I mean, the ballpark, aside from being something that brings a lot of people great happiness, also really has proven to be a spark of development here in Hartford, which was the intent. A lot of times when these ballparks are getting built, the justification is further development in that area, and oftentimes that does not happen. But it is happening here. I mean, there are cranes and buildings going up all around this ballpark, and we're really proud of the fact that all of that is actually coming to fruition.
Going off of that, Mike, I did want to touch on something. You're talking about kind of the appetite for baseball in Hartford. I know Hartford's got a pretty long history of baseball. I know it had one of the first original National League teams in the 1800s. There was a minor league team decades ago, up until I think it was the 1950s. I wanted to ask how, I guess, significant is it to just have baseball in general back in Hartford over the past decade, and how has the organization kind of honored that history over the past decade, and how will it kind of continue to honor that history?
Yeah, that's a great question. So yeah, I think it is super important. I mean, the Hartford area has a tremendous benefit that I think the folks in this state have really been trying to push more and more lately, and that is the proximity to Boston and New York. As much as we would like to be, we are never going to be New York City, and we are never going to be Boston. But we are situated right in the middle of the two. So there are a lot of people in this area that do work in the city. They do work in Boston. They follow the sports teams in Boston, the sports teams in New York. So I think it is nice for baseball fans to have something that is in this baseball desert to be able to go to and watch. If you go to a AA baseball game, that is the first level of the minor leagues where the quality of baseball is very similar to what you see at the major league level. The players that get to AA are true prospects, and the intent is for them to someday play in the major leagues. So I think it's great in that regard. If you're a fan of the Red Sox, you're a fan of the Yankees, you're going to make an annual trip to go see those teams, but we help you scratch that itch in the interim, and we do it affordably. As far as the history goes, yeah, we have really honored and given nods to the history of baseball in Hartford all over our ballpark. We have signage and little areas that depict sort of visually and through text different things that happen in history in this area through baseball. When you walk in the main gates, there is this enormous 1,000-foot mural of the dark blues. So it's the first thing you see when you come in. And that was important to us. We really did want to tie back to that history when we opened the park.
I mean, you look at the way that this organization is honoring not just the history of baseball in the Hartford area, but also this year there are some things that are coming up that are going to be celebrating the history of baseball in general. I know that you've got things coming up for celebrating the Negro Leagues for Roberto Clemente, Jackie Robinson Day. So could you talk a little bit about how you're incorporating these kinds of things into your schedule for this year and some of the promotional things that we've got going on?
Yeah, absolutely. And yes, we definitely like to tie back when we can to the history through our themes. Obviously, diversity, equity, inclusion, those are all really important initiatives for us here in the ballpark. You know, we want to celebrate things that are reflective of the community that we're in. So our Negro League celebration, which really started as a celebration of Negro League baseball, has become a celebration of Black culture. The Jackie Robinson game is, of course, important throughout baseball, but we localize that as well. And the Roberto Clemente game and our Los Chivos de Hartford identity are a nod to the enormous Latin community here in the area. So those things are really important to us, along with the history. But yeah, I mean, the funny thing is, you know, you need to serve everybody. So we're honoring the history of baseball, but we also have banana ball coming back, which is like the newest iteration, I guess, of, you know, so-called baseball. But we'll do anything to get people here. But yeah, we've got a pretty cool promotional calendar coming up this year. I can get into a couple of the things that we're doing. Right off the bat, opening weekend, which is actually coming up very shortly here, April 2nd, 3rd, and 4th. We have 3 games to kick it off. We're doing a 10-year celebration opening night, sort of a 2016 throwback. We're giving away jerseys to the first 500 fans on Saturday. We've got fireworks on Saturday. We've got Mario and Luigi characters coming to kick off the release of the new Mario Brothers movie. And then on Saturday, we've got Bluey coming for all of the parents with little kids, and it's Bark in the Park. So we're hitting it hard right off the bat. Couple of the more interesting promotions we have going on throughout the season. We're doing a divorce party on April 14th. So we're having a night for divorcees to come out and cut loose. We're doing a Halloween game on April 19th, where we're going to have a ton of our partners come out and set up tables with candy, and kids will be able to trick or treat throughout the ballpark during the game. You may have heard we are playing as the Rock Cats this year for 2 games to honor, you know, the history of having been the Rock Cats in New Britain. The first game is May 27th, and the second game on the 28th, we're actually doing a David Ortiz Rock Cats bobblehead giveaway. July 9th, sort of to counter our downtown divorce party, we are doing the largest wedding vow renewal, hopefully, in the record book. So everybody who is married who wants to renew their vows will be able to come out and do that on field. And then, of course, July 31st, we're honoring the Whalers, which we do every year. We're bringing back about 20 former Whalers players for our Whalers Alumni Weekend.
Very cool. And I know that one thing that my daughter has already circled on the schedule is you're going to have a Swiftie night. So
yeah, we got to talk about that.
Yeah, that's right. And if she does, in fact, end up getting married on June 13th, it will be perfectly placed because our Eras night is June 9th. So the goal is for those things to happen in tandem.
And of course, one of the things that has kind of made the rounds on social media a bit and made the news is one of the meal items that's involved with that, which was, if I'm recalling, it's a hot dog with donuts that is supposed to resemble a friendship bracelet. So when you've got things like that, are there any other new things that people can expect like that, you know, at the ballpark?
Yeah, well, first of all, that was something we concocted to sort of promote the Eras night. It got away from us a little bit. So now we're doing it. We are actually going to have this anti-hero. We're going to do it for some press on opening day, and then we're actually going to have those for sale at the ballpark on Eras night. And yes, it is a 2-foot hot dog with 11 donuts threaded around it. So somebody's going to buy it, if, you know, for the gram, if nothing else. But yeah, we actually have some other new foods that are going to be available at the ballpark all year this year. A couple of the more interesting things is we're going to be doing Munchkin nachos, which is Dunkin' Munchkins that are going to be flattened and deep fried, and they're going to be served with nacho cheese, pico de gallo, and jalapenos. We've got a fricouterie board, which is loaded tater tot squares with cheese and bacon, French fries, boom boom sauce, and then a cinnamon bun burger. So a burger, but between 2 cinnamon buns. So those things will get rolled out, and they'll be available at every game.
I feel like the Big E's got some competition. It's on all these different concoctions.
Well, the food part of it has become so important because
Yeah.
since we opened, we've marketed ourselves as Connecticut's largest restaurant. I mean, we are
Yeah.
as much a restaurant as we are a sports venue. The vast majority of people come out here because it's an entertainment option, not because they have a deep love of baseball in general. So the food thing has become really important. I think you're seeing it more and more throughout the major leagues as well as the minor leagues. So some of the things you want to make crazy, but you want to make them edible. And then some things you just make crazy, like the anti-hero, to get the attention. And that one, it just went absolutely crazy. I think nationally at this point, we're over 30 million impressions on that anti-hero.
Yeah. And I'm sure that's a combination of just Taylor Swift fans and people that are interested in crazy food. So
Yeah.
the overlapping population, I'm sure, is what's drawing
Yeah,
them.
well, gross really sells, you know. I mean, we
Yeah.
learned that last year for April Fool's Day. We had rolled out this float your goat, which was a hot dog dipped in goat milk, which was not a real food item, but that one got a lot of attention too. So, if you can really toe the line and make it edible but off-putting, I think you're right in the sweet spot.
So some other new things, you definitely looking more towards on the field. You have some new some changes to the managerial and coaching staff this year.
Yeah, we do. I mean, there have been huge changes within the Rockies organization. Obviously, they cleaned house and brought on a new president of baseball operations. They brought on a new general manager, and with that comes an entire new mindset. It's no secret that the Rockies did not have a good record last year. They've been tailing down for several years now. So I think the ownership knew that a change was in order. And that has really permeated down through the minor leagues as well. So we are completely new staff, but for our hitting coach, Zach Osborne, he's coming back. Everybody else is new at this point. So we're excited. I mean, the Rockies have had a really rich prospect bubble between single A and double A for the past couple of years now, and we've benefited from that. We came close to making the playoffs last year. We did make the playoffs the year before, but I think they're looking for a way to capitalize on those prospects and turn them into a team that can play together and win together at the major league level. So we're excited about it. I mean, we don't sell baseball wins and losses. We sell entertainment, but it does not hurt to have a team that is fun to watch on the field.
And going off of that, are there any specific players that fans should keep an eye on this year that you kind of want to give a shout out to?
Yeah, so in minor league baseball, the players go out to spring training, and all of the players in the Rocky system take spring training together. So they're major league, AAA, AA players, everybody's together, and then they start to assign them to their levels as spring training goes on. So we will actually get our roster coming up here in a couple of days. The players fly in on Sunday. But there are some players to watch, and we've got a guy named Cole Messina, who is a top prospect in the Rockies organization. He's a catcher. He's got a very high on-base percentage. He's somebody to keep an eye on. The interesting thing about that is that's probably a direction you'll see the teams go. I mean, they'll be looking at on-base percentage because philosophically that's going to start at the top and work its way down. Everett Catlett, he is a 6'7" pitcher, pretty dominating. He had 134 strikeouts and 133 innings last year. Griffin Herring is a pitcher, was traded from the Yankees last year in 7 starts. He had a 2.4 ERA. And then Rock Riggio, who was here last year, very well might be back with us. He is number 7 prospect in the organization. He is a straight out hustler, plays 100% at all times. He's a second baseman. A couple of guys that were here last year we were thinking might touch back for a bit. Charlie Condon and Cole Carrick. They have had amazing spring trainings. Carrick had a great showing in the World Baseball Classic with Team Israel. So I don't think we'll see those guys again, but if they do, they're probably a couple of players you'd want to come out and see once or twice because I do think you'll see them perform in the majors.
One thing that I'm always curious about, of course, we're here in the Springfield area, and with hockey, we see this a lot too, is you said that you don't sell wins and losses, but, obviously it's better when you have a team that's able to gel and be able to win. But when you have some of these things that are kind of out of your control, the call-ups and things like that, building that kind of continuity, that ability to gel, it's kind of unique in the minor leagues, I'd think.
Yeah, well, I'll tell you what. I mean, specifically, this organization a couple of years ago, this really stopped last year, but the couple of years prior, there were just an enormous number of moves throughout the season. I mean, players were coming up and going down every single week. I think it is very difficult to put a team together that can develop the kind of camaraderie you need to go out and win games when your pieces are changing that frequently. But, at the same time, it's a catch-22 because if you're trying to figure things out, you have to get an idea of who can do what, Double A is all about development. They are putting a team together that can play as a team, but they're also hyper-focused on the individuals and figuring out what their limitations are. I think one of the things that I have heard is that the organization wants to put a group of guys together that can play together and win together and then move them together more so than just bringing up a couple of players here and there and getting thrown into the fire.
Ryan, do you have anything else you'd like to toss out there?
No, I mean, I guess. One other question I did want to ask Mike. I know in the past, one of my favorite nights, I was at this game when you guys did the bouncing pickles night to honor. It was like a obscure blue law in Connecticut. I was wondering if there's any. I know you talked about the Rock Cats earlier. Is there any other alternate Jersey nights that you kind of want to shout out that maybe pays homage to some obscure law of Connecticut or just Connecticut in general at all?
Yeah, so with minor league baseball restricts you to one new identity per year now. So for us this year, that is the Rock Cats. We chose to do the Rock Cats throwback for the 10-year anniversary. The Pickles, that was super fun. Last year, we did the Thunder Chickens and we did the Leaf Peepers. We actually got 2 through last year. That has since changed. I can't divulge anything, but will tell you that we have a killer alternate identity queued up for 2027, which also does tie back to an obscure Connecticut blue law. So you're going to have to wait until February of next year to find out what that is. But sorry in advance for the sleepless nights.
Now that's a true professional tease right there.
Yeah. I like to go 11 months out, just keep people excited.
And of course, throughout the season, you'll have various post-game firework nights and running the bases, things that people have come to know and appreciate. So there's lots and lots of opportunities for people to come out to the ballpark and have a unique opportunity or a unique experience, that is. So where can people go and how can they find out about all of these different things? And most importantly, where can they get tickets?
Yeah, absolutely. So our website is yardgoatsbaseball.com. And of course, you'll find all of the ticket links there, all of the promotional links. Our social media is very active and very vibrant. We are on X, we're on Instagram, Facebook, Blue Sky, Threads, TikTok. So you can, get a little bit more in-depth information on those because we do hit the upcoming games there all the time. And then, when fans come out this year, I mean, we're not doing any huge projects this year, but we do have a couple of new things I think the fans will find interesting. We've put in a tracks to the top display in the ballpark, which shows all of the players here who have gone on to play in the major leagues with a little bit of their history, their photos, their names. That's going to be a really cool thing for people to seek out. We've got a life-size or bigger than life-size bobblehead, like 7.5 feet tall, coming into the ballpark this year. People can take photos with. We've got one of our party decks that companies come and they rent out. We've completely revamped. That's going to be the Garage Beer Party Deck. And one of the things that people have been asking for years, and we're like 10 years behind the ball on this, but we've got water filling stations around the park. So the old water fountains have been replaced by water filling stations. So a lot of people will be happy about that.
That's great.
Yeah, I got to say the social media accounts for the Yard Goats are one of my favorite follows. So.
Thank you. It's an exercise in towing the line between appropriate, inappropriate, political, non-political. Just like any other promotion of a minor league baseball team, you don't get a benefit of people loving a team and loving the players because they're younger, they don't know them, they come and go. You really have to build your own brand and have your own voice, and I think we have done that pretty well.
Absolutely.
All right. Well, Mike, thank you very much for the time. Before we let you go, is there anything else you'd like to add?
Just that tickets for all of our games are on sale now. So we've got, all of our 69 Yard Goats home games. We've got several college games here this summer as well, including UConn baseball. We've got a really fun family fun day we're going to be doing in July this year. I've actually got the Bouncing Pickles will be playing the Hartford Thunder Chickens. So we've got some players lined up. We're actually going to do it a little bit banana-esque and put in some fun promotions with that. And then, of course, Banana Ball is coming for 3 days in July. We've got the clowns facing the party animals. I think it's like July 22nd to 24th. All those tickets are available now.
And when is opening day again, Mike?
It's Thursday, April 2nd.
Right around the corner. All right. Well, like you said, you're ready for winter to be over, and man, so am I. I think Ryan and I talked about that on a previous podcast, that we're ready for spring, and nothing says spring more than some baseball. So looking forward to it, Mike. Thanks very much for the time.
Thank you, Mike.
Thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
We get it. You're busy, but you want to be connected to your local community. If you're not reading The Reminder, Western Mass's free weekly newspaper, you're missing out on the heartbeat of your town. Stay in the loop with all the latest buzz, from local stories to community updates and exciting events. It's all in The Reminder. Just log on to thereminder.com and dive into the hometown news you love. To subscribe to receive The Reminder at your home, call 413-788-1316. Don't miss a beat. Your town, your stories, your community for over 60 years. The Reminder. We are hometown news.
All right, we are back after both interviews, and I know I can speak for myself and say that we're even more excited now for baseball season.
Yeah, we were talking about it this morning, how opening day it's tonight.
Yes.
Baseball is back tonight.
Yes.
Yeah. But I wasn't really feeling it, and then we talked with Steve from the Woo Sox, and I'm just like, I'm ready for baseball.
Yes.
I'm ready for those warm summer days, going to the ballpark, getting a hot dog, getting a beer for $5 apparently at the Woo Sox.
He hinted at, yes, exactly. I know.
Really?
I know. Yeah. He hinted at a little $5 16-ounce beer deal going on. So we'll have to check out the website for that. But yeah, exactly. Just the warmer weather, the good eats. I know as of recording, tonight's opening night. I know on the way home I'm going to pick up some hot dogs and some ballpark food just to really feel in the just to feel in the like I'm at the ballpark. But yeah, definitely look forward to checking out some Woo Sox games and some Yard Goats games.
Yeah, Ryan, what were your kind of takeaways from the Yard Goats interview?
It was great. I mean, it seems like they have a lot of great, promotional events going on. One of the cool things they do is they're doing, so they used to be the Rockettes, the New Britain Rockettes. So they're doing an alternate jersey night, and they've done that in the past. So honoring the history of that. A lot of cool food things. A couple things he wanted to keep a secret for now, but there's just a lot of cool stuff going on. And one thing he brought up, which I thought was interesting, was especially in AA, he kind of sees it as this is entertainment. There's the people that are diehard baseball fans that go there for the baseball itself, but there's understanding that these players get called up on a consistent basis. So a lot of the focus is on how do we entertain people while they're at the ballpark. So that was I thought that was an interesting perspective and on baseball at that level. So that was kind of my takeaway. It is their 10-year anniversary, the Yard Goats. They started playing in 2016, so talked a little bit about the history of Hartford baseball and how they kind of honor that. So that was a nice discussion as well. But yeah, it got me excited too. Me excited.
And I always think back with the Yard Goats because I think I don't know if it was my first game or if I went to a Red Sox game before it, but one of the first baseball games I vividly remember going to was a Rock Cats game back in the day. Like, it was one of my friend's birthdays. Mm-hmm. Like, it was like a Saturday or something. Like, they did fireworks after the game or whatever. Yeah. It was just like, you know.
Yeah.
No, 100%.
Yeah, people, I only moved to Connecticut a few years ago. And I'm about 10 minutes away from, Duncan Park where the Oilers play, which is super nice. But so I obviously follow them on social media, and them hinting and then eventually unveiling that they're going to be the Rock Cats for a couple games. I mean, seems like a lot of buzz. I'm sure it's going to be a very popular game to go to. So it's nice to see, like, even being AA and trying to be more entertainment. I mean, it's a beautiful ballpark they got down there, and Steve mentioned too with the Woo Sox, just the promotional nights. Like, regardless of the product on the field, I mean, you're going to get families to go depending what promotion night. So it's really, and they try to keep it as cheap as they can. So it's a pretty fun, hopefully affordable night for many people.
And Worcester's obviously a little intimidating to drive into, but like you really kind of just get off the highway and you're right there for their park.
Yeah, it's kind of the same thing with Hartford a little bit too. It's right in the city, but it's
right off the highway.
Right off the highway.
You can see the
people.
park. The parking lots, the big parking lots right there.
Yeah, exactly. So
it's within walking distance.
Yeah, hopefully, and I'm sure the three of us will have many stories from visiting those ballparks this summer. Yeah. So we look forward to that.
Yeah, this year has really been like a revitalization for sports for me. I feel like I was kind of long dormant, especially because the Patriots were horrible for years. Years I say, and it was like 2 or whatever.
Those the Mac Jones blip. Yeah. Well, the cool thing, I think baseball in general has had a revitalization because of the pitch clock. I think a lot more people are interested. I think it's no secret. A lot of us have shorter attention spans, just with our phones and all that.
But I mean, you got a 4-hour baseball game is just like too much.
Yeah, 100%. It was a lot. Yeah, it was a lot, and I'm glad they changed it up. Because I think the average game time dropped by like a half hour, which is like pretty significant.
Yeah,
so.
No, there's a lot of exciting young stars. A lot of exciting veterans. So we should be in store for a good season.
Yeah, definitely.
I'm very much looking forward to warm weather more than anything.
Yeah. Well, that's the other thing. I think the baseball, it's kind of coalesces with the, just winter ending. So it's like that whole thing of to be excited about.
Yeah, I'll have to take a look at when the Red Sox are playing on national TV because I won't bring it up here, but I have problems with Nessun, and we'll leave it at that and their pricing model.
Don't ruin the Nessun sponsorship here.
I'm with you. Yeah. I'm with you. Might get a call from John Henry.
Yeah.
That's funny.
Yeah, I guess with that, I think that wraps another episode of So That Reminds Me. So we'll be back with another episode in a couple weeks. Yeah. Thanks for listening.
Bye, everyone.
Thanks for listening to So That Reminds Me, produced by Western Massachusetts news source Reminder Publishing. Don't forget to subscribe to the podcast, find the latest news at thereminder.com, and follow Reminder Publishing on Instagram at Reminder Publishing, on X at The Reminder MA, and on Facebook. Reminder Publishing, we are hometown news.